Well, I have to say that we've been friends for a long time, and now we can work in the highest capacity, and we'll bring peace not only here, but I know you're very much involved in helping us in other regions, like what's happening with Russia, Ukraine, etc.
President Trump talking to the Emir here in Qatar this morning. We are pleased to be joined by Qatar's Prime Minister, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for the time and the generosity.
Thank you very much for having me, bro.
You know, the President talking to the Emir there, and then the Emir said that the agreements you all signed today have elevated the U.S.-Qatar relationship to, quote, another level.
It's a historical visit in itself. It's the first American president coming for a state visit to Qatar in the history. So, of course, the relationship has been ongoing for decades now. And it's on multi-levels, whether it's on the security, defense, economy, investments, energy, and education, and many other areas. The investments in the new technology, in data centers, and artificial intelligence, and in different infrastructure projects, plus what we are doing currently with upgrading our defense equipment as well.
Part of it is a purchase of Boeing aircraft by Qatar, as well as weapons, as you mentioned. But I was told that you wanted to address the gift that Qatar is giving to the U.S. government, to the Defense Department, of this jet.
Well, I see that this story is making a big story in the news. Look, we've been always there for the U.S. We've been a reliable ally for the U.S. and it's something between the Ministry of Defense in Qatar and the Department of Defense, and it's in the discussion between them and under legal review. Unfortunately, I see that this story is taking a different direction and is being more politicized, while it's a normal government-to-government deal.
Yeah, as you know, the president's own party, there are some members who think it's unseemly or it doesn't look right. You know, the president has said numerous times it's going to the Defense Department. It will be retrofitted for Air Force One, while these other Boeing jets are delayed for Air Force One. And he said only a fool would not accept this gift on behalf of our country.
Right. First of all, we bought this airplane from an American company. It's basically part of a cooperation that we've been doing a lot together between Qatar and the United States. So I don't see a point out of this.
Did you all talk about it today?
No, actually, we didn't bring it up at all.
You know, the critics, obviously, say that Qatar spends a lot of money on a lot of things to try to have an influence in the U.S. The Free Press wrote that Qatar has spent almost $100 billion to establish its legitimacy in Congress, American colleges and universities, U.S. newsrooms, think tanks, and corporations, and billions into purchases of American-made weapons and business investments ranging from U.S. real estate to energy plants. You're very active inside the U.S., and some people look at that as saying trying to buy influence or make up for something you're doing in the region. How do you address that?
Well, Brett, look, it's really unfair accusations for Qatar's trying to buy influence. Throughout, you know, the last 25 years or 30 years, you will find Qatar always by the side of the U.S. in many areas and many things. For example, we have 6 American universities operating here in Qatar to provide an American quality education for the people here in the region, and we are offering them the opportunity to have access to this American education, and we are proud of this partnership and this relationship. I don't see any basis for this accusation unless there are some people who are just, you know, trying to select who should be a friend of the U.S. and who should not.
When you were in the U.S., we talked in end of January of 2024. You said every day it's getting more concerning and very dangerous. I mean, it was a warning at that time. How do you look at the region right now, today?
It's still in a very delicate situation. We are in a very critical moment. We have seen some changes in the region. Of course, there are some positive changes that happened. The war has ended in Lebanon. We have seen the transition happening in Syria. But despite all that, we see that there is a humanitarian catastrophe is still ongoing in Gaza, and it's becoming just worse and worse. And of course, even when you are looking at it from an Israeli perspective, the hostages are not freed yet. So this will definitely trigger a sort of reaction that might put the whole region at risk.
You were very optimistic about how close a deal between Israel and Hamas on the hostages and possibly ending the war in Gaza was going to be January 2024.
Yes.
And now it's not. Hamas released the last living U.S. hostage from Gaza, still holds the bodies of 4 slain American Israelis taken during the assault on October 7th. And there are others. Where do you think that stands? And I heard what you said about the humanitarian effort, but do you put the onus on Hamas for still holding those hostages and also, keeping people in harm's way?
It's good that you have mentioned the case of Idan Alexander, whom we are happily seeing him free finally. This took us like a long, a lot of time and a lot of efforts and a lot of pressure without any exchange, which is basically something has never happened. Now, we wanted this to be also as a first step toward having a complete hostage deal. Unfortunately, the next day being followed by a massacre on a hospital in Gaza, and just to try,
the Israelis obviously said they were going after senior Hamas leadership.
Yeah, but going after senior Hamas leader doesn't mean killing 70 people just as a collateral damage, which has just been the justification for the last year and a half. We cannot reach a deal when we have two different, a fundamental difference between the two parties. One party wants just to retrieve the hostage and continue the war, and the other party wants to end the war and doesn't think about the hostages.
I'll just say the Israelis obviously said that Hamas uses human shields around their senior leadership, and that's why all these people are killed. But to your point, you have been negotiating on a number of different fronts for a lot of months. Yeah. On Iran, the president said yesterday this:
I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy if we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive, maximum pressure. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
How do you read that statement? And do you think Iran is going to be at the table and will make a dismantling nuclear program deal?
All of us, we agree that we want a nuclear-free region, and we cannot afford a nuclear race in that region, but we need this to be resolved diplomatically. Iran has its right to have a civilian nuclear power, while not also representing any challenge or any threat for anyone in the region.
You're always in the middle of the negotiation. You seem to relish that position. And sometimes, people from the outside look at the other side, Hamas or Hezbollah or Muslim Brotherhood, and don't look very favorably to that from the outside. But you seem to be trying to find solutions. You've always said that whenever we've talked.
Thank you. Well, but look, it's a complex region that has ancient wars, proxies, a lot of complications that we have nothing to do with, but we inherited that for our region to stabilize. It needs efforts. It needs not only Qatar. It needs a lot of countries to step up and to be open to communicate with everyone. Doesn't mean that there is an endorsement of one side over the other. It's the contrary. Qatar has been trying our best to be a fair mediator, and I believe that all of us in the GCC, we would like to see other countries also being stabilized, because they will be a stabilizing factor for us.
Mr. Prime Minister, we really appreciate the time. Shukran.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. Good to see you, Brett. Thank you.